Hey, what's up? So this is part 2 for today's lessons of the day, okay? Today we're working on arms, okay? And in part 1, we learned how to wave our arms, okay? In a common way that people do in-house. Now for part 2, we're gonna do dime stopping, all right? Which is, dime stopping really reminds me of popping. Dime stopping is this, like really like, okay, so I'm sure you've seen that, okay? All right, when it comes to house, this is as similar to dime stopping as you're gonna get, but it doesn't have to be super precise, okay? You just have to basically get the general idea, okay? The general idea, which is pause, 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 like pause, 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 okay? All right, it doesn't have to be really like small and precise, okay? All right, so we're going to be doing pausing. All right, so for this, all right, we're going to use the similar movement that we did in our waving, okay? Except it's going to be, we're going to do it in the dime stopping, pausing way, okay? We're going to pause, all right? So we're going to pause on basically different rhythms, all right? So you could do it in a slow rhythm where you pause, 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 or you could do it faster where you pause, 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 okay? Like boom, or you could just do it like in house, every count, like do, 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 okay? When it comes to how you want to do this, it's not like the waving, it's not set in stone. Actually, the way you should look at it is no part of the dance is set in stone, okay? It all has to go back to the music. The music has to move you, and you have to be, what's the word? You have to be able to adapt, okay? So if a move isn't gonna finish on the beat, don't finish that move. Don't finish that move fully so that it doesn't hit the beat. Change the move so that it does hit the beat, okay? So right now it's gonna be hard to think of that, but as you get more and more and deeper into the style and you get more comfortable, you'll be able to, you'll have to think a lot. You don't have to think as much, okay? And stuff becomes natural, and then when it does come time to think, when you have to do some really quick thinking stuff like this beat is coming, then you could really adapt and change your movement up to hit that beat, okay? So the more you practice, the more you'll get to that level, okay? So for this type of movement, these pauses, okay, it's just gonna go with the music, okay? It's gonna go with whatever you're feeling and whatever the speed of the music is, or the different rhythms you wanna hit, okay? But I am gonna teach it in a uniform way today, okay, so you can practice it, and then later on you can change up the speeds, like boom, boom, doom, 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 okay? So you can do that stuff, okay? So the way we're gonna learn it today is this, okay? Actually, I learned this particular movement in hip hop, but it found its way into house eventually, you know? A lot of hip hop movements are in house. Hip hop, this type of, like the 90s hip hop, also known as new style in France, okay? That kind of style came from New York, and same thing with house. So a lot of people who did hip hop also did house. So a lot of the movements, came together, and it basically, they kind of jump styles. All right. So this movement is, at least from my knowledge, came from hip hop. Okay, because I used to dance hip hop back then too, before I got into house. All right. So here is the way we're going to learn it, okay? It's going to be like this. This is the way we're going to learn it. We're going to learn it like this. Have one arm up and one arm down, and then we're going to go meet in the middle like this, okay? So what we're trying to do here, okay, is we're trying to bring our arms up and down depending on where it is, but we're also trying to angle it so, these angles don't have to be perfect. It's more about style rather than technical perfection, okay? So we're going to go down like that. Okay, so this arm, you see it's starting to go down like this. All right, this one is starting to go up like that. Kind of like, kind of like tutting almost. Okay, but this isn't tutting, okay? But the angles, okay? Like boom. Okay, so the general guideline we're going to do is we're going to do pause, pause, switch. Okay, we're going to do 2 pauses and a switch, and this is what I mean. We're going to go pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch. Okay, all right. So the angles. You can start like this, and in the first movement, it's kind of like you're bringing your arms to the front. All right. So pause, and then another pause, pause, and then you switch, okay? And then you go pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, okay? So let's try it again. We're up here, we're gonna go pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch, okay? That's a very, very general guideline, okay? You could do pause, switch. You could go pause, switch, pause, switch, pause, switch, pause, switch. Okay? Also, just because your arms are here doesn't mean that they don't have that angle. It really is. It really is up to you how you want to angle this. Okay? It's a very lenient movement. Okay? Like I said, it's not set in stone. It's more about the movement and style, rather than the technical, like, it's got to be here, it's got to be there. It doesn't have to be. Okay? So, all right? This is not super technical where it has to be perfect. Okay? So, it's just the movement right here. Okay? Like that. Okay? Now, pause, 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 pause. Okay? And because you're adding a certain amount of soul when you dance, this doesn't have to be like super clean, like, you don't want to be a robot. You want to dance this out, okay? This could be added to dance like grooving, okay? That you don't have to take away all the feeling to be able to do this, okay? Like boom. Okay, you could do stuff like that, okay? All right, so let's try it again. Okay, it's up here. All right, so pause, pause, switch, pause, pause, switch. Now you could start playing with the angle, okay? So it was front to back before. Now you could move it side to side. Okay, pause, pause, switch, 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 pause, pause, switch. Pause, pause, switch. Okay? All right, so just remember, pause, pause, switch. Your angles are like this. Okay, here, 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 here. Okay? And basically, this has a similar effect to the waving, except waving is waving, and it's smooth and flowy. This is more if you want to play with, like, let's say, staccato parts of the music, okay? Like really hard beats, like okay? So it really is malleable, okay? You can almost do anything with this, but I gave you a general guideline to be able to practice, and then you can start playing with it, okay? And doing a lot more things with it, okay? But please practice the general guideline so that, you know, when I give you choreography in the future that has this type of movement, you're not going to be wondering, like, how the heck did he do that? You're just going to know. You're just going to know what to do. All right? Okay. So this is Dimestopping, pausing. Okay. So we're pausing. All right? And we're not going to do it to music today. Just practice the movement. You can do it to any music. Okay? And however you hit the beat, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you hit some beat. You hit some sound with this, okay? All right, so that is today's second lesson of the day. All right, so today we went over, in the intro, we went over basically, you know, what we went over the last couple of weeks, talking about the groove, and then turning the rhythmic movements into a groove, and then the isolations. And then this week we added the arms. Okay, we added the wave and the pauses. Okay, all right. So we added those pauses. So please practice those until they get natural or somewhat natural, so that you'll be able to play with it in your dance. Okay, this is the stuff that's going to expand your dance. Okay, there's a lot more arm movements, by the way, that you can learn, but those arm movements are more like move based. Move based is in like this is a move, that's a move. Okay, I'm not going to teach you like, all right, learn that. That's pretty much just a move, and then it goes into other movements. Okay, but the waving and the dime stopping, okay, the dime stopping, you can really play with those movements. Okay, it's not just a move, they're movements. Okay, all right, so that is week 49, and I will see you next week for week 50. All right.